Team Fortress 2. Possibly one of the most popular FPS games at the moment. It's a game that I've personally never been interested in. It's fine, but I've never personally found anything special about it, other than its witty humor and unique graphics. Well, recently my friends have bugged me enough to download Team Fortress 2 again, because they really want to convince me that it was a great game. I knew that it wasn't going to work, but seeing as how there was nothing else to do that night, I decided to play along. My friends and I decided to play around 11 PM, which is a good thing because really, TF2 is a pretty large game to download. I came back from school, went on Steam, and downloaded the game immediately. 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, a few seconds, and it was downloaded. I still had quite a few hours till our playdate actually started, so I decided, why not play a few rounds to familiarise myself with the game? And I did just that. I played against the bot. The game asked me if I wanted a coach or something with me, and after my abysmal display of sucking, I thought it might have been cool to have a little coach along. I checked the option and played just as normal. Then a person appeared along with me. The person's username was Titere, which is actually a pretty sweet name. Titere means the puppet in Spanish. I wanted to kid around with the guy, make an online friend of sorts, so I said hey. He said nothing. He was playing the spy at first and just ran around disguised as an engineer. And when I say run around, I mean it as literally as possible. He just ran around, and around and around. Same place at the spawn point, doing nothing. I figured this guy was just a troll or something. Not too familiar with the whole coach thing, but I'm sure lots of trolls just show up and grieve the entire game. The game was starting to bore me though, as I predicted. So I decided to check up on him again. Turns out he changed his class without me noticing, because now he was just a scout banging on the floor with his melee weapon. I asked him, "Having fun there?" Nothing. I thought it was hysterical, honestly, so I just joined in him grieving by banging the floor with my bat too. I did this while crouching to the beat of the bat, sort of like dancing to it all. After about a dozen seconds of just screwing around, he stopped banging the floor. I noticed immediately and asked, "Aw, is it over?" This time he responded. Well, as much of a response as I was going to get out of him. For a split second, his username popped up on the bottom right corner of the screen, as if he was going to talk with his mic. Then, about a few seconds later, he left the game. Well, that was weird, I thought to myself. It was around the time when my friends and I were going to play for TF2. I left the bot matches and started a game with my friends. We played a few rounds of Capture the Briefcase, or Intelligence, or whatever. Everybody was an arsehole, as expected, so, to an extent, everything was going fine. Titere joined the game. Perhaps it's strange to say, but when I saw this guy come into the same game my friends and I were playing on, I got pretty creeped out. I don't know why, but that weird encounter with him was just bizarre. Funny, but bizarre. Well, he didn't act differently this time around. Titere did his thing. And his thing was, you guessed it, grieving around. This time he was a pyro, running back and forth, pointing towards the sky and just shooting flames. He did this until he died, obviously where he would just run back and grieve again. I just stopped to watch him grieving. And eventually our team, and even the opposite team, was getting sick of it, and we were threatening to kick him from the game. He stopped, dead in his tracks, right in the middle of setting the sky on fire. His name flashed again as if he was trying to communicate again. Then, some sniper shot him right in the head. His name appeared again and he started talking. It was possibly the weirdest thing he's done because he wasn't really talking at all. He was just saying nonsensical gibberish. It was erratic, ranging from soft whispering gibberish to loud, almost harsh screaming gibberish. He wasn't holding down the mic either. He kept pressing the mic button, so it made it seem much crazier than it already was. It was all just an incoherent mess, and lasted up to a minute, till everyone just kept telling him to shut up. After which, he would just be louder and more vicious, as if he was just messing with them to spite them. This had to be a troll, right? It wasn't anything paranormal, just a guy messing around with us. However, the strangest part was after he was kicked from the server. Once he was kicked out of the server, everyone just sighed a breath of relief. Finally, we were rid of that obnoxious little troll. A few minutes into the game and all the players seemed to have forgotten he was ever here. It just seemed like another minor annoyance. Things were going as usual until everyone froze. Mid-animation, while in the air, during a shot, everybody just froze. Either my game crashed or I was facing some severe lagging problems. So I asked if I was the only one experiencing the problem. Everyone said that they were dealing with the same issues. Titere has joined the game. Just as soon as he entered the game, everyone vanished. And it was just me. Alone. At least, that's what the server said. It was a short moment of silence when suddenly, Titere started screaming words in Spanish, mostly profanity. And when strung together, it still felt like he was talking gibberish, only with bad words in another language. I was still alone in the game back at the spawn point. I wasn't really alone because I could still see players trying to talk with their mics, but whatever they were saying was just blocked out by an unbearable scream from Titere. Just then, everyone, I mean everyone, from both teams spawned in the exact same room I was in, making the entire game lag fiercely as people frantically shot their rockets, flamethrowers and shotguns, etc. The lag was so bad, and the screaming just kept going and going. The entire game just became virtually unplayable at this point. So, I just decided to abandon the entire game and exited. As soon as I was about to hit the quit game option, the scream suddenly stopped, and white noise played loudly through my speakers. I don't know how long that lasted for, because I just immediately left. What happened after I left, I wondered, seeing as how my friends were still in the game when I left. I asked them what happened afterwards, and they said once the white noise was playing, a 5 or 9 note song played about 3 times over the noise. Then, the server just crashed immediately afterwards. Aftermath. We talked about the entire thing 10 minutes later through Skype, and joked around about how my first time playing was the worst experience ever, and that it should be noted that not every game in Team Fortress 2 was like that. All jokes aside, it still bugged me. Who was this person? Was it all for kicks and giggles? Was it for his YouTube channel? If so, then this was one weird way to troll around the game. I had to look this guy up. What I found was nothing important. No YouTube channel or anything. But just one Steam gamer by that very same name. Keep in mind, however, that anybody in Steam can change their names on the fly, so the person I found on Steam could be someone completely different. After all, this guy hasn't played on Steam in over 100 days, so it couldn't have been him. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and if you enjoyed today's story, make sure to leave a like, and if you want more like it, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a story. If you need more now, why not check out my Gamepasta playlist? I'll leave that on this card, and I'll catch you in the next story.